This video clip is for task 6, which is experiment 2, enzymes and temperature. So you will need to collect the handout, which is called Enzymes and Temperature Simulation, and you'll also need the website link that you used earlier for the pH experiment. So we're going to use the same website. So the handout looks like this. You need to just check that the top says effective temperature on enzyme activity, not the effective pH. So they're exactly the same sheet except for a few different words. So make sure you've got the right one. What you'll then do is write a hypothesis for this experiment. So our purpose is to investigate the effective temperature on enzyme activity, and you're going to hypothesize whether decreasing the temperature, so making the condition colder, will increase or decrease enzyme activity. So in this box you need to write your hypothesis. So I hypothesize that making the conditions more cold by decreasing the temperature will, and then you write either increase or decrease enzyme activity. Again, you can't really get it wrong or right at this stage because a hypothesis is just an educated guess. Then we're going to go on to the control variables. So the thing that we're going to be changing, our independent variable, is our temperature. So on the simulation, you'll see these different factors that you saw earlier. We're going to do the same thing where we make the enzyme number 3, so we'll increase that to 3. Substrates are going to stay the same at 20, inhibitors are going to stay the same at 0. Temperature will be changed, but to start with we'll start at 25. Container size will stay the same, and pH this time for the whole experiment will be 7. So we need to put in the control variables. First control variable will be the number or amount of enzymes in the experiment. That will be 3, and that's how they're going to be controlled. And then why they're controlled is because if we have more or less enzymes, that's going to make the reaction happen faster or slower. Second control variable that we mentioned was the amount of substrates. So the substrate amount is what goes in the control variable, substrate amount. How it will be controlled, 20 substrates. And why? Because if we have more or less substrates, then our reaction is going to happen faster or slower. Finally, instead of controlling temperature for this experiment, because that's our independent variable, we're going to control pH instead. So pH will remain at neutral or 7 for the whole experiment. So a control variable will be pH, and then how it will be controlled, you can put will remain at 7. And why it needs to be controlled, well, you already know that. So you know from your previous experiment that you did in task number 3 that if you decrease the pH and make the conditions more acidic for the enzyme in this simulation, the reaction speeds up. And if you increase the pH and make the conditions more basic for this enzyme, the reaction slowed down. That's not the case with all enzymes. So the enzymes in your stomach, they work really well under acidic conditions, whereas the enzymes in other parts of your body might work better under basic conditions. But for this simulation, you found out in the previous experiment that increasing the pH made the reaction slower, and decreasing it, making it more acidic, made it happen faster. So we need to control pH, because otherwise it's going to change our investigation. So once we've got these things set up, we will click Set Up. So if you are following through your method like you did before, you'll have all these steps as well. Wrong one. Okay, so click Set Up, and you'll see that you've got your 3 enzymes and your 20 substrates. You'll need your stopwatch, so up to step 5 here. So get your stopwatch ready. When you click Start, you're going to have to start your stopwatch and then time for 30 seconds, and then click Stop. So if we start, our temperature is 25 degrees, the enzymes are doing their work, making some products, 30 seconds passes, press stop, count up the number of products that are formed. So the products are the red dots, so they've been catalyzed. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for that one. Then we'll go down to the table, and for 25 degrees, trial 1 will put 5. You'll then press Set Up again. That resets the experiment, and you'll then do it again 2 more times for 25 degrees. Once you've recorded your other trials for 25 degrees, you will then go back and do the next value. So it next asks you to set up for 15 degrees. So we're going to enter into this column here. On here we'll keep everything the same except for temperature, which will change to 15. We press Set Up to make sure it's reset, and then go Start. And then then stop when your 30 seconds is up, count the number of products, and go and enter it. Once you have gathered all your data, calculate your averages, make a graph either in Google Sheets or a hard copy graph from the paper between the speakers at the front of the room, insert it here, and then go down to the conclusion. Remember that your conclusion needs to link back to the purpose, it needs to explain what your results show you, and it needs to include some data points.